This is so weird.
It wasn't fair, really, being forced to sit behind him every day in class. Kaoru was struggling to concentrate, and his grades were starting to suffer as a result. It wasn't fair, having to sit behind the most popular boy in school, the class president, the captain of the soccer team, who had boys and girls alike confessing to him on a weekly basis.
Kaoru had to watch as the boy turned them down, boys and girls that were prettier and cooler than a nerd like him. It wasn't fair having to sit behind Nanjo Kojiro.
This is Mirage by One More Something.
Oh my god, I can't believe we are doing this.
I'm leaving that this is weird in.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to my podcast co-host wrote a fanfic, episode 1, where
here we are.
Katie is like apparently a world famous fan fiction author on AO3, and I have no idea. I'm Jono, by the way.
I'm Caitlin.
Katie, what the hell?
Yes, wow. Hi everyone.
Hello. Well,
I still can't believe we're doing this, but okay. Yes, this was quite funny the other day. We had the idea that maybe we would do a My Dad Wrote a Porno-esque episode of the podcast.
Yeah.
Where we read one of my fanfics. And Jono took a dive into my AO3.
I think, like, I shouldn't be surprised because, like, but you've got some clout over here. It's pretty good. And, like, I'm surprised by the long word count of your main fic, I guess you would call it, which is called, you know what it's called.
There you are.
There you are.
That's the first one.
That's the first one.
That was the first one I wrote, yeah.
The thing I was thinking about with this is, like, I did this to you. Like, not to make it about me, but, like, if it wasn't for that first message I sent you about me crying at a boy doing an ollie, none of this would have happened. I'm sorry. I'm actually sorry.
No, please don't be sorry. I'm actually very happy about it, so...
But, yeah, this isn't about me. This is about you, the author.
Well, it's just really funny because I hadn't thought about writing fanfic since the last fanfic I put up on AO3 was 2013, and it was Teen Wolf, and I hadn't really considered writing fanfic at all. Even when I got into Haikyuu, I'd thought about it, but there was nothing really, like, jumping out at me. And then, I watched this thing that has been stuck in my brain for nearly 11 months.
Yeah.
And one weekend, I was like, I think I had a weekend off, or it might have been a long weekend or something, and I put up on Tumblr, I want to write some Matcha Blossom fanfic this weekend. If anyone has any prompts, send them to me.
Oh, cool.
Not thinking anyone would send anything, but I had one user who is now one of my best Tumblr friends, Snowflake of Destruction. She sent me a prompt that was, I can't even remember what it was. It was something about, like, Carla shenanigans and, like, AI confusion and maybe some, like, fake dating stuff. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. I will, like, work on it. And it ended up going from, like, a rough outline of maybe 3 chapters to, like, this mammoth 5-chapter thing that I was obsessed with writing. And the Snowflake of Destruction, she became my beta, and I'm writing a multi-chapter fic with her at the moment, and I met all of these amazing people that I just have made my internet experience so lovely and welcoming and wonderful. And I did not expect There You Are to blow up, but it did, and there you go.
Yeah.
I think I caught I think I was very lucky to catch the very end of the show finishing.
It's timing, yeah.
And people obviously, you know, show finishes and everyone runs to get their fix of fan fiction after the show finishes. So I think I was very lucky in that sense. But yeah, I I think I said to you the other day I've written something like 60,000 or 70,000 words this year so far, which is kind of baffling to me.
Yeah.
But I've enjoyed writing again. It's been a really lovely little hobby, and
Yeah, nice.
yeah, I don't know, it's fun.
Yeah.
Get the little serotonin boosts from the comments and the kudos.
Yeah, it's so nice. People commenting and actually enjoying it. It's so nice. You pretty much got the prompt exactly right. I'm looking at it now. AI shenanigans and matchmaking.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So yeah, I've read Mirage now.
Yes.
I've read Unchained Melody and I've read Never Again.
Oh,
so the shorter
okay.
ones I've kind of
Yeah.
which bite-sized little tasty little morsels.
Yeah.
But we're going to read Mirage today.
Yes, we are.
So,
I think I said to you, it is not too steamy and not too embarrassing, which is good.
Yeah. I mean,
not that I'm embarrassed, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, this could be episode 1 of my podcast co-host wrote a fanfic.
This is true. This is
so we could get steamier.
We could
some
get
of your more steamy stuff. I
Oh
mean,
my
Never
God.
Again had some pretty steamy stuff in it.
Oh, dude. It does.
Yeah. So.
All right. I'll just read it. Oh my God. This is so nerve-wracking. Okay, I should also clarify, this is a high school AU.
Oh, yes, we didn't talk about that.
It is a high school AU, and they're not friends, but they have been in high school together, and Kaoru is a bit of a nerd, and Kajiro is a bit of a jock. Yes, that's probably up top what I should have clarified.
Yeah, I guess we could read the tags.
What did I put in here?
I'll read the tags. Okay. Ultimate Universe, high school. We know that. High school. Nerd Kaoru. Jock Kojiro. Mutual pining. Daydreaming. Strangers to lovers. First kiss. Oh, is there a first kiss? And basically 1,500 words of Kaoru thirsting over Kojiro.
I love tags. Okay, here we go. It wasn't fair, really, being forced to sit behind him every day in class. Even under his white school shirt, Kaoru could see how the material stretched across the lean muscles of his back. It drove Kaoru mad, the way he would roll his shirt sleeves up a few turns, so they would hug the firm bulge of his forearms.
Mm.
We're already into it, okay.
Yeah. Damn, that bulge firm.
Oh no. And when he leaned back in his chair, which he did often, Kaoru could smell his citrus-scented shampoo, which, even though it was probably some cheap 3-in-1 combo his mother bought for him, stirred things in Kaoru he had never felt before. Oh my God.
When did you write this one?
I'm getting
this
really
is pretty
flustered.
This is around the midpoint for you, isn't it? In terms of your Sk8.
This was July or something? June, July?
Yeah. When we started this.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes. Wow. When did I post this? Yeah, July. Okay.
There you go.
It wasn't fair. Kaoru was struggling to concentrate in class, and his grades were starting to suffer as a result. Every time the boy sitting in front of him decided to stretch or raise his hand or lean forward to speak to his friend sitting in front of him, his shirt would pull loose from his pants and ride up, just the slightest amount, just enough to reveal a tiny sliver of tanned skin. And when that happened, well, Kaoru was incapable of thinking about anything other than wanting to see more.
More in italics, we should mention. Your
More,
use of italics
wink,
is really good.
Oh, is it?
I will say. It always But whenever I see italics, I always have to be more. It's
that
a
was the
tone
intention.
shift.
So
Yeah.
you've nailed it.
No, nice.
It wasn't fair having to sit behind the most popular boy in school, the class president, the captain of the soccer team, who had boys and girls alike confessing to him on a weekly basis. Kaoru had to watch as the boy politely turned them down, one by one, with a pearly smile that gave Kaoru butterflies every time he saw it. Kaoru had to watch as the boy turned them down, boys and girls that were prettier and cooler than a nerd like him. Boys and girls that Kaoru thought had way more of a chance of winning Kajiro's affections than he ever did. It wasn't fair having to sit behind Nanjo Kajiro.
Great intro. I love that repetition of it wasn't fair. just like it's good rhythm.
Yeah.
I
tend to do that in fics. It might be a little bit of a thing of mine, but I like repetition as well.
Yeah.
Like repetition with a bang at the end.
Yeah, like a coda.
Yes, yeah.
It's really nice.
Thank you. Okay. Most days, when he would drift off during class, he'd imagine lifting that shirt right off Kajuro's well-sculpted torso. He'd seen it before, from a distance, when Kajuro would get overheated and tear it off during his soccer training, which Kaoru just happened to be passing by at the exact same time every day, or leaving the showers with only a towel wrapped around his hips after gym class. He tried not to stare, he really did, but it was hard when the defined ridges of Kajuro's abdominal muscles were just begging to be touched and kissed and licked.
This is where I messaged you after and licked. I was like,
oh my God.
oh my God. Okay. All right.
It was then that I realised I might have made a mistake. And it was then also that I realised that I was glad that I gave you this and not one of the other ones.
Well, yeah. I was going to message you during Never Again.
Yeah, I was like,
maybe
no,
not.
Okay. He'd imagine Kajuro's bronzed arms, biceps taut and toned, wrapping around his waist, lifting him with ease. He was almost half Kajuro's size, placing him on top of a desk or pinning him against the lockers, crowding in close to him. Kaoru imagined wrapping his legs around that trim waist, trapping their bodies together, the perfect position for him to nuzzle into Kajuro's neck, taste the mixture of sweat and whatever drugstore cologne he was wearing, salty and bitter on his tongue. It was the perfect position for Kaoru to trail his hands up Kajuro's back, or squeeze at his glorious ass, or tug at the short green hairs of his undercut.
I've read that apparently it's canon that Kojiro skips leg day and doesn't have a good ass.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I think fanfic writers, I've read fanfic writers are like taking it back.
Yes.
Being like, no, we will not be denied.
No, he will have a glorious ass and we will all agree.
Yeah. I mean, he wouldn't skip it. You'd never do.
He would not, as if he would.
No.
He needs the ass to hold up the pants because the belt certainly isn't doing anything.
Well, the multiple belts.
Yeah.
Also loved nuzzle.
Nuzzle.
It's just nuzzled right in the middle of that paragraph.
Nuzzled snugly. Kaoru imagined them rolling their hips together, desperate and clumsy, Kajuro panting and moaning against his ear, moaning his name. Kaoru? Kaoru jolted back to reality, looking up only to be met with ruby-red eyes gazing warmly down at him. The classroom was nearly empty, and Kaoru questioned just how long he'd been daydreaming for as the last few students filed out for their lunch break. Only Nanjo Kajuro remained, leaning back against his own desk. "You know my name?" Kaoru asked, genuinely taken aback that the boy even knew he existed, let alone knew his name. Over the years, Nanjo Kajuro had never gone out of his way to bully him or make his life miserable by any stretch, but Kaoru was sure this was the first time he'd even remotely acknowledged his existence.
This made me think about, like, Joe's eyes are red. How weird is that?
So, I've actually had this discussion before because so are Adam's.
Yes.
And I went into a really, like, angsty hole where I was like, do you reckon when him and Kajuro got together, he just, like, every time he looked at him was always reminded of Adam?
I did notice in one of the, it was Unchained Melody, when they were talking about Adam, and Kaoru's like, I'm over it, I'm over him, that kind of stuff. Do you have this, like, I guess, like, headcanon that Kaoru was into Adam? Or do you think that's canon?
Oh, yeah. I think it's canon.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's canon.
Yeah, especially from those flashbacks.
Oh, yeah. The one where he, like, trips and gets caught and is like, 100%. Yeah. I tend to use it in quite a few of mine. The red eyes? No, that Kaoru was into Adam.
Yeah.
Or that they were together, like they were properly together.
Yeah. But you know the image I thought, like, when I read the ruby red eyes gazing warmly down at him? I thought of Joe gazing warmly down at the empty spoon. And I was like, oh yeah, he does have red eyes.
The sad spoon. Oh, I want him to look at me like I'm a sad spoon.
All right, go on.
Okay, sorry. Kajiro huffed and crossed his arms across his chest. We've been in the same class since kindergarten. Of course I know your name, he said, and then leaning forward to examine him for a moment added, Are you feeling all right? Kaoru felt a little guilty, having thought the worst of Kajiro, making the assumption that he had ignored him their entire lives. He flushed slightly, trying to hide the pink rising on his cheeks as he began packing away the books and stationery on his desk. I'm fine. Are you sure about that? Kajiro chuckled mischievously, only taking his eyes off Kaoru for a second to reach behind himself and grab his water bottle from his desk and offer it to him. You seem so thirsty, Four Eyes.
Ugh.
I should also mention here that the "You seem so thirsty, Four Eyes" was a prompt from my friend Irene. So that was why I was like trying to put it in there, but I think it fits
nice.
well.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely does.
Yeah.
I love this idea of like actual thirst and like
Yeah.
They're playing with it.
Mm-hmm.
Very flirty.
Mm-hmm.
And also the insults.
Yes.
You see how the insult list would definitely come in handy.
Yes, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So often I have to consult it, the insult list. Kaoru froze as he felt his cheeks start to burn with embarrassment. It wasn't hard to understand exactly what Kajiro was implying with that observation. He started to panic. Was it that obvious? How long had Kajiro been aware of the way that he stared? Was he disgusted by it? Did he think Kaoru was some kind of creep? Frantically, he scooped the last of his items off his desk and into his school bag, nearly knocking his chair over as he pushed to his feet and slung it over his shoulder. I said I'm fine. Kajiro shrugged and uncapped the lid of the water bottle. Suit yourself, he said, before tipping his head back and taking a long drink. The sight of his Adam's apple bobbing up and down as he swallowed awakened something feral inside of Kaoru, and it took all of his willpower not to launch at Kajiro and latch onto his throat, to lick and bite and suck at the skin there. Sometimes I surprise myself. Like I fully fluster myself sometimes. I'm like, can't believe I wrote that. Oh my goodness.
I like that you left out the commas there too. It's really like a pace.
Yeah, I do that a little bit as well. Sometimes I do my beta writer, Snowflake of Destruction. She, the first time she read my writing, she was like, oh, you need a comma here, you need a comma here, you need a comma here. So I was like adding in commas. And then the next time I gave her a chapter, I was like trying to think of where she would tell me to put commas. And then afterwards she was like, you've put too many commas. I was like, damn, I was trying to preempt.
Yeah.
But I think I've got a good balance of comma usage now, but I do like it. I do like to not include them sometimes.
Stylistic non-use of commas.
Yes,
Yeah, for sure. Works here.
It's
something feral inside
feral
of him.
I did see you perk up when I said Adam's apple.
Yes.
Because that's so interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah. Sometimes I think every time I write Adam's apple, I'm always like, ooh, Adam.
And apple even. Eden.
Yes.
Snake.
Yes.
So much shit.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
With a wet pop, the boy removed his lips from the plastic, wiping his mouth with the back of his hand to dry a few stray droplets of water that had trickled down his chin, looking at Kaoru with such heat that his skin felt like it was on fire. And Kajiro kept looking at him like that as he pushed off from his own desk and rounded Kaoru's, leaving less than an arm's reach between them before saying, You just looked a little hot to me. Kaoru didn't understand what was happening. Are you enjoying this? Kaoru hissed, trying his best to remain unaffected by Kajiro's teasing, even though he could feel his heart in his throat. Don't you have something better to do than make fun of me on your lunch break? Surely there's a line of our classmates waiting to confess to you that you can go and reject instead. Instead of biting back, Kajiro took a step closer and smirked down at him, pushing his tongue into the side of his cheek before saying, Maybe I keep rejecting them because I'm waiting for someone else to confess to me.
Love that. Love just Joe with the tongue in the side of the cheek. Like,
cheeky.
Yeah, how would you I that Sometimes just putting stuff into words is just like
really hard.
Yeah, but like I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the fact Kaoru hissing like the not understanding what's happening and just being like, "Are you enjoying this?" Yeah. Like, I can see that happening. Yeah, really cool. Yeah.
I'm getting all flustered from your like compliments now, Johnny.
Sorry.
Oh my goodness.
It's reminding me of like writing class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a moment, Kaoru thought he must still be daydreaming, because Kojiro was leaning down, eyelids heavy and lips parted, and there was no reality in which Kaoru could ever imagine Nanjo Kojiro wanting to kiss him. But then their lips touched, and electricity coursed through Kaoru's body, and the feeling was more incredible than anything he could have ever daydreamed. When Kaoru didn't pull away, Kojiro pressed in closer, and Kaoru breathed him in, the familiar aroma of his citrus-scented shampoo and his spicy cologne overwhelming his senses. But Kaoru's imagination could never have prepared him for the taste of Kojiro. When the other boy gently teased his tongue past the seam of Kaoru's lips, the mix of mint and something faintly bitter, like matcha green tea, causing him to hum into Kojiro's mouth.
Fucking hell, Katie, Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Emily, leave the room. No, she's not home.
Oh no.
Spicy. Spicy cologne and the citrus scent.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. Mm-hmm. What citrus were you thinking? Like just a generic yuzu or like
just like a lemony lime?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fucking hell. And the matcha green tea as well. Love that little ref.
Yes.
Yeah, it's good.
I had to do it. I think I did that in Never Again as well. I was like, his hair smelled like cherry blossoms. I gotta do it. You gotta do it sometimes.
You gotta do it, yeah. Just lean into it.
Wink, wink at the audience. Ha ha ha. But Kaoru's imagination could never have prepared him for the taste of Kojiro. When the other boy gently teased his tongue past the seam of Kaoru's lips, the mix of mint and something faintly bitter, like matcha green tea, causing him to hum into Kojiro's mouth. It may not have been the hot and heavy makeout session that he'd so often dreamt about, but it was so much better. Kojiro pulled away, eyes still half-lidded and a soft smile upon his face. I've been dreaming about doing that for a very long time. You have? Kaoru whispered, still in disbelief that Nanjo Kojiro just kissed him. It was Kojiro's... Oh.
I was going to say, the bits at the start, I forgot to mention it, when he's like, when you're talking about like how he's the popular captain of the soccer team and stuff like that. It reminded me of, that's Chin and Mia, the Olympic hopeful for the skateboard team. Like, not in a bad way, but it took me back there.
It was Kojiro's turn to look embarrassed then, lifting a hand to scratch at the back of his neck as he nodded sheepishly. I thought it was obvious, what with the way I'd stare at you whenever you gave presentations at the front of the classroom, or the way I'd wait until I saw you walking past the soccer field to take my shirt off.
Love that. Call back.
Yes. Kaoru's jaw dropped. I figured you liked me too. I could feel your eyes on me during class. It was driving me mad. I couldn't concentrate, my grades have been slipping. I thought that maybe you'd confess to me, seeing how I'd keep turning down other confessions right in front of you. I just couldn't wait any longer. Kaoru couldn't believe it. Nanjo Kojiro, the most popular boy in school, the class president, the captain of the soccer team, who had boys and girls alike confessing to him on a weekly basis, just confessed to him. You've been thinking about me all this time? Is that so hard to believe? Kojiro chuckled, tucking a stray piece of hair behind Kaoru's ear. And all of a sudden Kaoru felt bold. Felt like he could do anything, because Nanjo Kojiro liked him, so he reached for the bottle of water he still held in his other hand, unscrewed the cap and took a long sip, not taking his eyes off Kojiro, watching as the other boy swallowed.
Chad move. Chad move. Just give me that water. Gulp, 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 gulp. Never taking eye contact.
Oh my God, this is a long sentence. I didn't realize how long this sentence was.
Long boy.
Whew. And all of a sudden, Kaoru felt bold, felt like he could do anything, because Nanjo Kojiro liked him. So he reached for the bottle of water he still held in his other hand, unscrewed the cap and took a long sip, not taking his eyes off Kojiro, watching as the other boy swallowed, his hazy eyes flitting between Kaoru's lips, down to his throat and back up to meet his own stare. He placed the bottle down on the desk next to him, not bothering to wipe the leftover water from his own lips, before grabbing Kajiro's tie, relishing in the brief moment of surprise on his face as he pulled him in close. And just before he closed the distance, before he let himself kiss Kajiro just as he imagined in his daydreams, he smirked and said, "Looks like you're the thirsty one, gorilla."
Boom. Mic drop line at the end there. Love that. Love it. Yeah.
That's
Very
it.
nice.
There we go.
That's it. That's Mirage.
Mirage. Yes.
Well, damn. Thanks One More Something for coming and doing a seminar
Thank you, who is not me. It's definitely a guest that we have on the show today. Yeah. That's it.
That's it.
No,
That's the fanfic.
Thanks for indulging me, everyone, on this episode.
No, if you like what you heard, we can, Katie's got 25,000 words for one fanfic. We could literally release an audio book.
We could.
Yeah.
No, well, it was nice to hear that you, someone with a writing degree.
Yeah, I haven't done anything with it.
No, I know, but someone with a writing degree, saying that the good things about my writing, it was nice to hear. It was a nice little bolster of confidence. So thank you.
Oh, that's good. Oh, that's all right. Happy to indulge you. I really loved it.
Well, there we go. Have you dug into any other fanfics besides mine, Jono?
Well, I was gonna jump into some of your longer ones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I reckon I might. But yeah, I'm enjoying what I'm reading so far, Katie. Keep it up. I didn't realize you'd only released Never Again a week ago.
Yes, Never Again was a gift for my server exchange.
Nice.
A holiday server exchange. For also, I don't know who I wrote this for. So,
there you go. Nice.
Yeah. So, that was good. It was nice to write something specifically for someone. We all gave each other prompts, and it was like a Secret Santa. You got assigned prompts to you for someone. Yeah.
That's so cute. I love it.
Yeah, it was really cute.
Awesome. Well,
yes.
Yeah, hopefully, we'll do more of these, or if you like what you've heard, go and read the works. Yeah. They're up there on AO3. We'll put a link in the description.
Yes.
I'm
going to go back to writing my Match of Love porn without plot today. So
nice.
if I know if you're a Match of Love shipper, then just keep your eyes out.
Keep those eyes peeled.
Yes.
You can find us as Infinite Minute, not as just Katie's fanfic stuff, at @infinite_minute on Twitter.
And at Infinite Minute, you can tell that I'm having a really fun time speaking today. And at infiniteminutepodcast@gmail.com.
And I'm going to give Katie a version of this for her own use without me butting in. And you can
without
do
me giggling at myself.
You can chuck that up on AO3 or anything like that, and we'll link to that as well if you want a clean version of this without my annoying voice.
Yes.
So, yeah. And we'll see you next time.
See you next time. For episode 3. We're going to start episode 3.
Yes.
Yes.
With Mitch.
With Mitch.
Mitch
yes,
is with
we
us
have
next
Mitch
week.
next week.
Yeah.
I know you've all
look
missed
forward to
him.
Mitch.
So.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.